This video is about coronavirus, sometimes called Covid-19. What is coronavirus? Coronavirus is a type of illness. It has spread to lots of different countries because we like to travel around the world. And now some people have it in Great Britain. What are the symptoms? Coronavirus is like flu and gives you certain symptoms. A symptom is how you feel when you're poorly. The main symptoms of coronavirus are a new cough that goes on for a long time, a high temperature, this means you feel hot to touch on your chest or back, finding it hard to breathe properly. If you have these symptoms, you need to stay at home and self-isolate for 7 days. Self-isolate means staying in your room. We'll talk more about this later. Staff will be on hand to support you. Most people who have the virus feel unwell but do not need to go to hospital. If someone you live with has coronavirus symptoms, everyone in the house needs to stay at home for 14 days, which is the same as 2 weeks. How do you stay safe and well and help stop the spread of coronavirus? It's important that we all do our best to help stop the spread of coronavirus. The best way to do this is cover your mouth and nose with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Put your used tissues in the bin. If you do not have a tissue, try to cough or sneeze into your sleeve and not your hands. Try not to touch your face. It is really important to wash your hands regularly for at least 20 seconds, especially after sneezing or coughing and before eating any food. You can also use hand sanitizer. Here's a quick video about how to wash your hands properly. Apply soap and water to your hands. Rub your hands together and clean in between your fingers. Use one hand to rub the back of the other hand and clean in between the fingers. Rub your fingers on your palms. Rub your thumb using your other hand. Rinse your hands with water and dry your hands completely with a disposable towel. Use the towel to turn off the tap. Instead of counting to 20, you can sing Happy Birthday twice, which is the same amount of time. Another way to stop the spread of coronavirus is to avoid places where there are lots of people. This is called social distancing. And we need to do our best to stay 2 meters apart. 2 meters is like 2 big jumps. To keep us all safe, the government has said we are only allowed to leave our homes for 4 reasons. 1. Important shopping like food or medicine. 2. To exercise once a day. 3. For any medical need or to provide care. And 4. To do essential work. This is for people like doctors, nurses, police and delivery drivers. If you do go out, wash your hands as soon as you get home. Order your food online if you can. So for a short while, we cannot go to places like cafes and restaurants, pubs, bars and nightclubs, theatres and cinemas, and gyms and leisure centres. Most shops are closed unless they sell important things, like food and medicine. We will be able to go back to these places when the government says it is safe. To help stop the spread of the virus, the government also says to avoid all public transport unless it's an emergency, to work from home if you are able to. This is to keep elderly and unwell people safe, because they are most at risk if they catch the virus. Some people already have an illness that means it is harder for their bodies to fight the virus if they get it. This is people with illnesses like cancer, people who have had an organ transplant, people with illnesses that affect their lungs and breathing, and people who take medicines that make it hard for their body to fight the virus. These people will get a letter from their doctor to tell them they must stay at home for 12 weeks and not go out at all. They must stay at home for April, May and June. What do you do if you think you have coronavirus? If you think you have the virus, you should tell your support staff. Don't panic, most people are only a bit ill, and it's a lot like having the flu. Staff will support you whilst you're unwell, and try to make sure the virus doesn't spread. If you are still unwell after 7 days, or start to feel more unwell, you or your support worker can call 111 to get medical advice, and you might need to go to hospital to be looked after by doctors and nurses. This section is all about self-isolation. Remember, self-isolating means staying by yourself. If you do have to self-isolate, it is important to look after your well-being. Well-being means being happy and healthy. Think about doing things like talking to friends and family over the phone, or on social media like Facebook or Instagram, or on a video call. Keep yourself entertained with hobbies and things you enjoy. Try to keep in a routine. Drink plenty of water. And if you feel well enough, try some light exercise. If you have any worries or concerns, speak to a member of the staff team and they will be able to help you. The most important thing to remember at the moment is to stay at home.